Hey everybody, it's Troy from BDN Portland. You know, the vote to see who's going to be Portland's next mayor is less than a month away. And I didn't know very much about any of the candidates, so I invited all 4 of them to come take a ride with me in the BDN news cycle. That includes incumbent Mayor Ethan Strimling, former school board chair Kate Snyder, current council member Spencer Thibodeau, and political outsider Travis Curran. So why don't you come along with us and see what they had to say.
My Press Herald article came out today.
Oh, did it?
Oh yeah, it's right here in my back pocket.
Let's fire this up. Where should we go?
Okay. I should ask, are you filming?
Yeah.
Underdog Travis Curran focuses on housing crisis.
I like that.
You want to take anything back?
Nope.
And we're off. Awesome!
What I think it's really going to take is it's going to take Maine State housing bonds. We need to make sure, I mean, there's been a proposal that's come up a couple times and the council said no to, is a housing bond at the municipal level. Well, I think what we need to remember is Paul LePage isn't our governor anymore, and we can move past having to go it alone. We've got a good legislative delegation. My goal would be to work with them to get a $25 million housing bond passed at the state level so we can get some Maine State housing bonds, actually some money flowing into the city for affordable housing.
I'll tell you one thing, this right here, very disappointing. This whole piece of property here has been 500 to 1,000 units of housing, and we sold it to a couple of developers who are basically leaving it like a wasteland.
Whereas on the other side of the street, we did require housing on that, and we got 23 great units, and it just shows you that when you say to developers, this is what we need, this is what we want, they can come up with great ideas, they do great things.
It's really talking to the developers and forcing them to pay. I guess they have a fee right now if they don't create 10% of workforce housing when they develop it, and they just pay it. And it's not right at all. It's got to be at least 50-50. I mean, my big thing is really stopping Airbnb right in its tracks. The apartment building right across from my apartment, like they just sold the building and they did turned at least half of the units in it into shell apartments for Airbnb.
And so I think that we need to look at the city's zoning laws and whether or not we're zoned for residential housing on the outskirts of the city. So that, you know, if we have a really good and robust public transportation system and we have more affordable housing, people can, you know, opt for that and still be able to make their way in and out of town easily, hopefully without a car. I mean, that's what happens in cities, right? Is the growth in a city pushes residents outward. And it's tough to say because people don't really like to hear it.
I rent. I don't own a car, so this is quite an enjoyable ride. Parking is probably one of my primary issues. It's currently 9 minutes for a quarter, and I dare you to put a quarter in a meter and try to do something in 9 minutes.
Are you into kombucha? I am not at all a connoisseur. I've had a little bit, yeah. I mean, I kind of like ginger.
Which I always find if you're talking about how much power you have, you likely have none, right? And so just like someone telling you they're the smartest person in the room, like if you truly have power, you don't need to talk about that. I think the mayor's power is derived from the success of the council. And my goal as a mayor is to make sure that the policies that the council is bringing forward, they all represent districts, make sure they're successful, so we can actually move things forward here.
You know, when you talk about the divisions at City Hall, you know, this is something City Hall didn't want to have happen. And when this first came to the City Council, there were maybe 2 councilors that were willing to support it at that time. And over a year, we had to build the support and slowly get to the 8 votes that we needed. And all the way, City Hall was kicking and screaming, and that was part of the division. And it's, you know, when I talk about it, it's, you know, we have to find practical solutions to get things done like this. And some people are, you know, they're ideologues and just don't want this kind of work to happen. So, but we got there, built a compromise and got it done.
And you got it, so this is your big achievement.
Yeah, this is one.
Of them,
yeah, I mean, look, and it's not even my big achievement. It's the city's big achievement. You know, the parents, teachers, taxpayers, small businesses, everybody came together and said we have got to rebuild our schools.
I don't go in as a gladiator. I actually don't think it's helpful for anyone to go in with sort of that fight mentality. I go in it much more feeling like I'm part of a team. And the team extends to staff and it extends to the community, and it's like, we are in this together. We really are in this together. And so it's all in the outcomes. To me, it's not in, it doesn't need to be about me. It's in the decisions. It's in the action that's taken and what happens from there.
I mean, I haven't met John Jennings yet, but I plan to. And I mean, I know he's reclusive and whatnot, but I mean, he can't be the big scary guy behind the chair. Like, we got to work with this man. And especially because a lot of people disagree with his decisions. And the city council should be guiding him, not working with him in lockstep in order to, I don't know, his budget cuts with trashing the India Street Health Clinic. Like, that was the most upsetting thing in the entire world.
It feels to me, or it just sounds to me, listening to you, that you're getting into this partially because you're really, really, really frustrated. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, deep down, yeah, I'm tired of sitting back and watching it all happen. And in the service industry, it's easy to complain, but it's not easy to do anything about it. So here I am trying to do something about it.
All right, here it is. So Carter Field is a Little League field, and when our kids were little, my husband said, well, they've got to play Little League, and I was like, okay. And it is so cold up here in April. You can't even believe it. So I used to keep things like snow pants and hats in the car, and then all the other parents would just sit sort of along the grass up here with blankets and scarves and hats, and I'm not kidding about the snow pants.
The wind really whipped
Oh my God, it was so cold. And they were little, so it wasn't like they could hit the ball or anything.
Yo, Celia, what's going on? I'm being interviewed right now for the paper. Yeah, I'm running from there. Yeah, it's not a fake sign, my friend.
City Council decided to move the shelter out to pretty much Westbrook, on the line. Is that helping anybody but Bayside developers? Who's that supposed to help?
So, a couple of things. I was actually one of the. I'm actually the only candidate.
That's a loaded. That's a snarky question, but that's the way I think people would ask you that if they were here.
And you know what? I think unless we demonstrate to people why the model is better, it's not going to work, right? So if we cannot demonstrate how we're going to get people to approve that, it's never going to work. That's issue number one. But two, making sure we have health services on site for people. Three, making sure we have space for people to be there today to actually meet with their providers, the service providers. We can make this work wherever.
The homeless are not like a demographic. We treat it like a sub-race. Like, oh, the homeless problem, the homeless this, the homeless that. These are all people. They have names. They have moms, dads, kids. They want to ship them out 6 miles out of town. They're going to be walking up and down Forest Avenue in front of Riverton School where little kids walk to school all by themselves.
It was a terrible decision. It was a 5-4 vote. In the second term, I plan to bring that back in front of the council and try to reverse it. It's not going to help the people we're trying to serve. It's not going to be good for the community out there. We need to do small shelters around the city.
I would not have voted at that time to place a shelter out on Riverside. Part of it is that I am not at all convinced it's the right location. And the other part is that there are too many questions about the scope and the intent that weren't answered before the location was chosen. There's a funky thing at play when you make these big disruptive policy decisions, and if portions of the community feel like winners and portions feel like losers, that really troubles me.
Hold on, we got a geese crossing here.
It's a good time to bring up immigration, I guess, since they're Canada geese.
Thumbs up is not an official endorsement. No. It's fun, man. Yeah. It was. I felt more and more comfortable as the further we went.
Well, there you go. I hope you learned something about the candidates. I don't really care who you vote for. Just make sure you get out there and vote. And exercise your franchise. Make your voice be heard. And do your part for democracy. And do the right thing. And write my name in.